It's okay, Kuro. I'm a little late too. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, and disembodied hands, Quindy, disembodied beard, John, and a jingly Kiki, as well as a Kuroniko who may be earless or earful. I'm not sure. It has not been stated yet, so it's Schrodinger's Kuroniko right now. Schrodinger's Kuroniko. She's either in the work box or she's out of it, but we're not sure which, and until we open the box, we won't know. Okay. Well, now you've resolved the paradox. Excellent. Oh, I have a very weepy eyeball today. All right. Sorry for the lateness. I had to get some food started for tonight, for later today. So I had to prep and do things. And I, of course, forgot to do them last night. My own fault. So my fault I'm late. But yes, it is a blessed earful day. So at least we have that. Hey, Bert. We're waiting. I was hoping for an announcement on Thursday last week because Ron, that was Reaper Live, but Ron was gone. So I would expect no announcement until the next Reaper Live, which is probably next Thursday. I've been putting out content on my Patreon for the new thing, but it goes to my YouTube. So if you hit my YouTube, you'll see what I've got about MSP 2.0. I can tell you that me and Bonita are still working on reformulations for 2.0. Live, doing that now. She just mailed me a box of paint. So things are still moving. But I'm not sure about whether Ron has set a tentative launch or not. I do also know though that they're finishing fulfillment or trying to finish fulfillment, more fulfillment on the Dungeon Dwellers RPG, but they have a lot of stuff left to print. So it's kind of a big question mark whether they're going to try to launch the paint Kickstarter before DDRPG is fulfilled, just because it's a totally different kind of Kickstarter, and it's not going to impact. They're not going to impact each other because one is paint and one is minis. Or if they're going to try to finish DDRPG before they start the paint. I'm not certain on that. I haven't talked to Ron not since ReaperCon, so about a month or more. So yeah, so that's what we've got so far. If you want to explore some of my MSP 2.0 videos, I do some stuff. I think I've got 3 out, just kind of talking about the line, why we did it, and some of the things about it, what to expect from it. But yeah, we're still waiting on that, and I'm still actively working with the new paint department head to reformulate some of the colors that we hadn't originally had on that docket, but then we're like, well, let's just revisit this. So, for example, we weren't going to actually reformulate the reds, but now Bonita and I have decided that we do have the time to do that. So we're going to tackle our reds with an eye toward actually improving them. They were pretty good out the gate, but we can do better. So it's just a matter of, how much can Bonita and I get done before Ron goes, oh, we're going to launch Kickstarter next week. I hope Ron wouldn't do that to us. The reds are very nice, but they could be better. There's more, we've noticed a chemical issue, Kuro, with the amount of red high density pigment in the base. And so we're having to kind of go back and revisit some of that. So pigment amount, when you get pigment, when you get a paint from a company, that company usually has a tolerance level that has a range as far as how much pigment, if you're ordering a white base, that they may have a variable amount of white pigment in it. So that can change up your formulations. There could be one called Garnet Red. I told you how to mix that. Just stop. Well, actually, you better mix it fast because Deep Red's about to disappear. I'm so bad. Will there be a Victorian brown? No. Okay, sorry. I was moving my cursor and accidentally tapped. We're resetting this conversation. Yeah, Deep Red goes away even though I really like it because there are other reds that fill that. Yeah, bloopers. It's that kind of day, guys. Yeah, at least if Ron follows my recommendations, because we have a lot of reds on that list. A lot of reds. And when I went and I lined them all up, this is how I did this, by the way. No Mummy Brown 2.0. If you need Mummy Brown, you have to go to Chimera. Chimera has Mummy Brown. They've got non-mummy mummy. It's this color. It's beautiful. And, like, we can't get access to that pigment. So you can go and become a grave robber on our behalf if you wish, Kodiak. I didn't officially say that. We would totally disavow all knowledge, and you would end up just getting arrested. But, you know, I'd hate for that to happen because you're one of my beta readers. So please, no mummy. Please, no mummy. Well, Coro, the second worst thing to happen to you today. I'm very sorry, but, like, the fact is you could probably get close to it by just adding in a little burgundy wine. In fact, I'm willing to bet that you could do that. So instead of deep red, mixing it 50-50 with blood red, you would actually just add a little bit of burgundy wine to your blood red, and you would get garnet red. So there we go. I can still tell you how to mix it. Yeah, maybe they use chimera mummies. If they found mummified chimeras, I want to know, because I want to know if chimeras were a real thing. Time to panic buy. No, like I said, you can use burgundy wine. Like, the only difference really is that deep red has a little magenta pigment in it, whereas burgundy wine is just a straight up blue-red mix. But it should work, like, depending on which burgundy wine you have. There's more than one. Kara and I are in talks now about the future of burgundy wine. We're in talks. That's all I'll say. My NDA won't allow me to say more. You know, I never encourage flavorants in paints. Not ever. It's not food grade, people. It's only non-toxic. If you become reliant on burgundy wine, then Kara will be smug. Well, she wants the world to be reliant on burgundy wine. I want the world to be reliant on brown liner. So really, you know, everywhere you look, there's bias. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to actually check my Kara communications. Kara communications. Oh, that's funny. Interesting. Yeah. Kara's got a lot of good ideas. Anyway, I gave Bonita carte blanche to email Kara and set up some communications about the future of burgundy wine. So, all right. I'm going to go back to our skin tones here. Well, you need technically both if you're going to make an equivalent for, like, the awesome brown umber or burnt umber put out by Scale Color, which I love. But, you know, you have to mix russet brown and brown liner for that. Brown liner is an integral part of that. All right, what am I doing? I'm doing, things and stuff. I am doing flushed skin on this model. That's right. And we're going to take some fair skin also. And, all right. Yeah, I got it. All right. And I was shading. Got it. All right, I've got it. Now I just need to mix it. So we're kind of going with the Kid Adventurer skin tone on this. Just because I thought it would be good to have a lively skin tone for this model. And I was putting in some shadows with Ruddy Leather plus the Flushed Skin, which is a 2.0 color. Alrighty. Yeah, okay, I see where I was. Alright, so let's just get our liner and then mix our shadow. And let me go back so that we can see our colors. Boop, boop. Hey guys, I'm down another pound on my weight loss. I'm actually feeling good here because previously when I tried to lose weight while I've been out here in California, I only got down to like 175, and I'm now past that. By 2 pounds. So I'm pretty happy and on my way. My goal was to lose 15 by the time my family goes to Hawaii, but I'm actually losing at more than half a pound a week. So I might actually blow by that because I have, even with the holiday, like Thanksgiving isn't typically a huge, like Like, I eat bad one day, but it doesn't disrupt my whole life. Yeah, thanks, Matthew. We're still going down. We're going all the way down today, this time. So yeah, the refresh should be, like, honestly, should be automatic for you guys. So I'm just going through. This is going to have a little bit of russet brown, or ruddy leather in it once I grab it. This has got 1 drop of fair skin. We're going to go up to fair skin. But yeah, it's not a catastrophe until, like, because I was seeing only a little bit on my end. I saw a quick disconnect, and then I saw a few frames dropped, and then all my alerts are fine now. So it was just a quick glitch. It's Twitch, like, making us nervous when Quinny goes away. Roger Kuro. Yeah, that was almost comedy that Quindy stepped out and then everything went south. But it should be all right now. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of that ruddy leather in there. It's going to really impact this flush skin quite a bit. Yes, rude Twitch. Rude. Very, very rude Twitch. All right, and then I probably want a little bit more because this is a small model, so we're going to need to artificially punch up the highlights more. So small versus big, as far as, like, whether you're working with, like, 28, but you can see, even if we get close, the head on this one, like, this one is sculpted to be larger than the other. Like, if I really look at them, little Bierfrau is really little. Like, she has places that are kind of the same, but her arms are shorter. Like, she's not as big. So the fact that we have to punch our highlights and shadows when we paint 28mm in general becomes even more so when you are painting something that is smaller than 28 or smaller than our usual minis. So I am going to actually mix a skin tone that is fair skin and white for sure. Oh, we got another thing. Okay. All right. Boop, boop. But yeah, we're not even at the end of October, and I only have I have like 3.5 pounds left to lose to get to my original goal. And I've got more than 2 months to lose 3.5 pounds. Now, I guess something crazy and stressful could happen, and I could go majorly off the rails. That can always occur. That might jeopardize my goal. It's like weight loss is like Kickstarters. You should you should acknowledge the potential problems when you start. But yeah, so I've got about 10 weeks. 10 weeks. I mean, at my current rate of loss, I could lose 5. I could be like well under my goal. My goal is just under 170. That's my 15-pound mark is 169.8. And then, man, when I get down below 170, guys, it's on. Like, then I get super excited because, like, 160 was my lowest I ever hit on keto. Might be slightly larger if she was a test print. Oh, interesting, Quindy. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to punch her highlights a little bit more than I might otherwise, just because a smaller model, I would tend to do that. Likewise, as you get with bigger models, it's up to you whether you want to punch those highlights. Usually the reason to punch highlights on bigger models, like Ghoul King, is that you want to portray a strong light source. So when I punch Ghoul King's highlights up to like an off-white, and I darken the shadows, I can get a dramatic light sourcing effect. But that's mostly what you're doing. Like with bigger models, you don't need to take it all the way up unless it's a surface that makes sense on. Oh no, oh no. Ruining your day. I'm so sorry, Quindy. All right, so I've got a nice set here to work with, and I'll work with those and see if I need more. I do want a line, and we'll get in focus. But yeah, so when I hit like 160, 169, I'm going to be super excited because then it feels like doable. Like then it feels like I'm about to break my weight loss record. Like, cause that's nothing. Like once you've lost like over 15, losing another like 9 is like nothing. Like it feels like nothing. As long as your system's still working. And my system is actually kind of crazy. Like I love this app so much. I think that when you don't track your food and your intake and you don't have something like this that's kind of dialing in the calories you should be eating, like it's really easy to like, you know, hit a plateau for 2 weeks and think it's stopped working and then you get discouraged and you quit. Or you get like this kind of idea that you've been at this weight longer than you have, like, and if you just would have held out for another 6 days, you would have lost another pound. Like, because water weight is a thing. But I feel like I'm eating more than I did on my last, like with keto. I'm eating a lot more. How did show us gonna lunch break in the stream? Yeah, the Ghoul King's looking good, green users. Because it's lunchtime. Oh no. There we go. We'll get in focus. Yeah, I wanted to do something crazy and colorful on the Ghoul King, so we're going crazy colorful. But yeah, so I'm super excited now. And of course, when I hit my 15-pound goal, I get to buy more stuff. I get to treat myself. I was very happy with the things I acquired from my 10-pound goal. I got toe socks. Toe socks for running and a very nice, 2 very nice tops. One blue and one orange for running. Because I can always use more athletic tees. And I got the tops a size smaller than I was when I started. Nice. So that's always nice. When you go down a size, you're like, yes. Trying to get the lining in there. Actually, I'm going to go back and focus a little lower. I'm actually held it up too high when I was trying to focus before. There. Oh no, out of deep red doom. Well, you're going to have to go to Burgundy Wine. I know, lunchtime. What you going to do? I honestly should be using a smaller brush for this because I feel like I'm like Jennifer used to joke that it looked like her, when they zoomed in on some of her models, it looked like she'd applied her lining with a basting brush, and this is what I'm thinking of right now. So I think it's time to actually reach for a smaller brush for the lining. It works on this app. Actually, it's been giving me more calories every week, Coro. The key, though, is the exercise, right? If you just buy yourself more food, like if you bought yourself more food, but you were like lifting weights, you would actually be able to eat more while still staying at the same weight, or even losing weight. That seems to be the key. Like in hanging around on the Macro Factor subreddit and looking at these people, because after you've been through a long period of weight loss, you can actually, like, you know, once you go to maintenance, you can eat quite a bit more. And if you slowly reintroduce your calories, apparently your body will slowly adjust until you can eat a lot more than you could before. But that's if you're exercising. And especially, like, women later in life tend to the weightlifting actually does a lot. And I'm not even weightlifting. I'm just doing body weight physical therapy, and it still counts. Like, I'm doing a little bit of weightlifting at CrossFit, but I mean, I skipped like 3 weeks of CrossFit. I only went back on Tuesday, and I don't know if I'm going to actually go back tonight. Oh, cool, Quindy. Oh, the booby trap was just a false sense of security. It was too obvious. So now I have to trim down around my huge lines and get the skin tone to cover over those. I could put down white first, but I'm just gonna touch it up. Honestly, burgundy wine is probably the more efficient fix anyway, Kuro, because you need less of it. So you go through it less quickly. It's just a sign that you're meant to move over to the cult of burgundy wine. I mean, I don't usually, like, do her cult work for Kara, but since she's not here, I'll be a substitute cultist. Oh, that's ugly, Kuro. That's a... That's really ugly. It's kind of startling. Is it a big park and that's why the police can't find the person? That's pretty sad. I mean, people are getting out and getting fresh air and exercising in nature, and you're just ruining it for them because you don't like cyclists or runners or whatever. So, I'm going to just do a little bit of lining on these fingers to bring them out. Yeah, we don't need another Kuro crash for sure. Kuro doesn't need another Kuro crash either. But yeah, I expect my weight loss to slow down eventually, but if I can get down to, like, I don't know. I haven't even done the math to see how low I might be able to get by my race. Oh, guys, I bought myself something yesterday. It was expensive. I bought myself a running vacation. The women's trail running org that I joined has retreats, running retreats. And they just opened the 2 for next year. And one of them is in June, right by my birthday, just a bit before. And it's 4 days in Colorado, running in the mountains and learning all about running in the mountains. So I was looking for something to do that would let me train at altitude because I've never run at altitude. And this sounded perfect. And they have they have pretty cool stuff. Like you do the run in the morning, and then in the afternoons you have workshops, stuff like self-defense for female runners, like the basics. Basic stuff about like wilderness running and respecting, the natural places you go and how you should, how you should act and what you should and shouldn't do. Which is all of this really cool, like the gear that you use and, how to use it and why you should have it, stuff like that. So I decided to go for it. Different park. I wonder if the person only sticks to one park, though, Kuro. But yeah, so I decided to go for it, and so next year in June, just before my birthday, for my birthday present, it's my birthday present. I'm gonna go to Colorado and run with a bunch of girls in the mountains. It's pretty cool. Lodging and food paid for, except for breakfast, which always increases the price of the thing, but also saves you money usually a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited. This is pretty much exactly what I was kind of looking for, so. Just gonna line around these little fingers again. Oh no, no, a little bit too globby there. I need to go and trim that up. Ah, yeah, weighted vest. Yeah, I looked at weighted vest, but right now, I mean, I'm essentially, in Boulder, Twisted Oma, so it's gonna be gorgeous. And it's such a cool town. Yeah, exactly. No reason to attack a little old Koronico. Yeah, I looked at weighted vest, but let's face it, with how overweight I am, I'm essentially carrying like 50 pounds of weighted vest with me now. So I'll wait on the weighted vest until I don't need to put any more strain on my limbs when running. I could probably ruck while hiking, though. Yeah, it'll be gorgeous, so I'm really excited. But I told David I've pretty much filled up my calendar, that means, for next year. I also told him I owe him 2 expensive ski trips, because I'm abandoning him now twice next year to run. One for the running camp, which is a 4-day abandon David, and then one for the race, my trail race, my 21K. Oh my God, that's so scary. Especially because I can't train right now. It still feels scary. And that'll be a long weekend, probably 3 or 4 days. Maybe. Yeah, I think I don't remember. It's been, I read The Stand like in high school, so honestly, I don't remember. But possible. Yeah, suit of full plate armor is going to look suspicious while walking. Yeah, I did look at a weighted vest, just to add a little bit of extra to my physical therapy workouts, but then I realized I could just hold on to a dumbbell and it would probably do the same thing. But I may get one in the future when I've dropped the weight I want to drop. Then the weighted vest is likely going to come in to play. Then I'll be very interested to do that. Boulder free zone. Yes. Okay, so Quindy knows. We knew that Quindy would have the answer to that because it's a horror related. I need some blush on this face. Let me get some reddish color here. Where's my magenta? There it is. Right, exactly, Kodiak. Yeah. No, yeah, the running podcast I follow, the guy who was talking about weighted stuff was like, yeah, you only start with just carrying an extra bottle or 2 of water. He's like, you don't need to start with, and shouldn't start with, something really big. A couple of bottles of extra water are useful and also effective. So yeah. Alright, so I'm mixing magenta into my flush skin, and it's going to give me a blush color that looks a lot like that. And that's actually, I don't mind it being a little bit cotton candy because she is younger and it's a beer frau. She can have rosy cheeks, I'm okay with it. So I'm going to thin that rosy color down so that I can apply it a little bit, not too garishly. Oh, welcome to Dairy Starts. Well, you'll have to see. We'll have to see how it is. You'll have to report, Quindy. Watch it and report back. I'm just going to put some pink in here. I feel like the I blocked this in so rough. And I don't mind putting some pink on her nose either, because she's drinking. I may actually need to go a little more vibrant with the pink. I forgot smaller face means you have to punch it a bit more, but we'll see. This might be okay. I'm just trying to blend in that pink a little bit. Kiki, no, no, ma'am. There's nothing coming, Bubs. Settle down. The Keekster is on alert. Yeah, either amazing or terrible. Yep, it's one or the other. I think he might just be a hard author to adapt. Trying to get this blend. It's hard to blend in these little tiny areas. But then again, you know, Hollywood is all about, you know, movies by committee too, so that can totally screw up a creative project. I'm going to get that highlight on the jawline down there. Very fair skin. And this eyeball is pretty buried. Yep. Yeah, I didn't even see like a flicker on my screen for that one. Oh, that was got a little bit too big on that eyeball. So I need to bring up color on the other side. Yeah, so this is why I don't often paint things that are smaller than what we usually paint. Because it's very easy to be, like, you need to have really fine brush control. That's why if you ever see somebody painting like 20 millimeter and you're like, well, you could put more details on that. Obviously, you've never tried to paint 20 millimeter. Yeah, Twitch does hate everyone. Yeah, I like it a little better. I think I liked it a little better on the bigger models. Like, we used this also on the Kid Adventurer, which is why I decided to use it on this model. It just seemed to me to be, I wanted something rosy. But you just don't have a lot of room here. And I think we got the shadow up there, yep. Now I need to get a little bit more shadow here. So just like the Faces PDF I put out on my Patreon not long ago, we're just trying to hit all the major things and then go back in and try to pick up any highlights that we missed. Like we're trying to do all of those highlights I listed on that PDF. Blend that in a little bit. Blend that in a little bit over here. Just to pick out the details. And it tends to look really cartoony. Like doing naturalism when you're getting this small, not really a thing. It's probably going to look cartoony no matter what you do. Because the scale demands that we put more, that we pop the shadows and highlights more, so. Yeah, I'm slacking on the YouTube right now. Because the book is higher priority. I did get some serious editing done yesterday. And today, because I put out a Patreon thing yesterday, today is book editing day for the most part. I'm going to outline my Dragon Masterclass video to shoot tomorrow, but mostly I'm going to be editing today. So that's all right. Yeah, we're doing wings this time. I want to talk about blocking and wings. And then after we have this, after we've done the blocking and wings, we actually can start doing the draconic detailing. So taking all of our block-ins and starting to refine everything. And doing detail work. But not red ones. Oh, Kuro, you still have plenty of deep red. And if you don't, you have burgundy wine. Come on now. But I was talking about the color that I made that kind of pulled some stuff from the Asmodeus Red of Pathfinder. It's called Infernal Red. So a new color for MSP 2.0. So there is actually a new red. Less than 4 bottles left. Yeah, I'm going to be doing like when we're blocking in the wings, I'm going to be doing each membrane in essentially a different thing. So we're going to do everything from basic to setting up like striped patterns this way or spotted patterns this way. So yeah, we are going to be be doing both of those on the swing video, just how to wet blend the setup for both of those in addition to regular wings. So yeah, the Dragon Masterclass is my $10 level right now, guys, just to remind y'all. So yeah, we're going to be going over, and then when we get to our refinement stage videos, when we get to wings, we'll show how to refine the blocking for those patterns. Uh-oh. Yeah, we have ideas, Michael. There's definitely something we want to try given what we've discovered about some of the changes that happened after I left. We believe we can definitely improve a little bit. Not mess up, improve. Swan hands, I do tend to kind of increase, kind of show the veins and the bones that tend to go across the back of the hand. I also tend to then glaze those later to blend them in more, so you just get a little suggestion of it. Using the fair skin first to try to just bring up a little bit of highlight here. It's because you discovered it as it was unstealthing, Quindy. Since you broke its stealth, it ran away instead of dumping us. It's funny, Branch. It's like your office mate is just a cat in human form. The cat can tell when you're focusing on something that you're enjoying, and the cat wants your attention. It doesn't want you to enjoy your thing. Same with small children, apparently. Hello, Reaper. We had somebody in here earlier, John, asking if there was news on the MSP 2.0 Kickstarter. I told them nope, because Ron cowered it out of the Reaper Live on Thursday. There we go. So now we got highlights. Oh, that's funny. So he was interrupting you with cat stories. You're the last to learn anything? Well, no, I'm the last to learn anything. Oh, all right. That's cool, John. That's cool. That's about what I thought, because I hadn't heard from Ron. I haven't talked to him recently, so. But since you mentioned that you guys were making good progress on DDRPG, I figured I wasn't going to poke the Ron bear, because I personally would rather see DDRPG fulfilled before MSP 2.0 launches, but I'm not, the one making decisions, so. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, DDRPG. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good that DDRPG is the focus. Like, excellent. Yeah, I'm not going to push Ron to go faster because I don't have time right now to do the equivalencies and everything for him. Equivalencies and triads. Because I need to get my new book published. So it is not great timing for me right now. So yeah, I'm not going to approach Ron and poke him about it. See, that's good, Laura. That we had talked that might be the case, but that was never like fully. Yeah, but yeah, DDRPG getting fulfilled before MSP would be great. I think that's the way to do it. Sounds lovely. Gives me more time to work on that stuff for Ron too. Because Ron's got enough, honestly, on his plate. Like, does he really need to be worrying about 2 Kickstarters at once? I don't think so. I don't think anybody needs that. So I'm putting a high highlight on the very top of the hand and the top here of the arm. Then we're going to go to lower highlights as we go down the hand here. Yeah, I got no idea about that, Polly. I don't know, I heard that the main backup was going to be the miniatures. Just because there's a lot of them. But I don't know. John knows more than me on that, for sure. Oh no, Coroniko. My lining got a little bit much there, so I'm just painting some skin color over it to trim it down. There we go. Oh, funny, Chroniko. Yeah, I haven't kickstarted any of the Death May Die stuff. Polly, I don't know that anybody even knows, though, at this point. I'm sure that they're all just working on getting as much done as they can, and then, I think the book had been finalized, but I don't know about its printing status right now. And I know there's a lot of minis that need to be printed and made. So I suspect that Reaper's shipping strategy hasn't even come into play yet as far as figuring out what they want to do. If the printing is proceeding apace and Reaper knows it's going to get the books before all the minis are done. Yeah, if the minis get done first, for people that got minis only, those were shipped. Yep. Same if the books get. That's exactly what I was about to say. Is that it's going to depend on what gets here first. They just want to start getting stuff out the door. Yep. Exactly. All right. Well, good to know that my gut instinct was correct on that, John. That sounds like the Reaper I know and love. But staying flexible like that. Yeah. Once the books are done, print on demand is fast these days. Yeah. So it makes sense that as soon as you can fulfill pledges, you do, right? You don't hold everything up. All right, lining done. Hands. Need to get that little hand. That little hand there. Yeah, it seems to be actually moving, so I think that fingers crossed, it shouldn't even be a problem at this point. You get yours last anyway, yeah. I mean, we're talking more like if the book is done, the people who only ordered the book get the book. So that's not a bundle. That's not a bundle thing, really. I'm certain that like people who only ordered minis, you know, when the minis are ready, they'll be shipped. And people who only ordered book, same, right? And then anything that can be bundled probably will be bundled. It doesn't make sense to do it any other way. Not if it's all like, you know, moving. Yeah. At least that's what I understood John to be saying. Is that, you know, if the books are done first, then the book only orders get shipped, and if the minis are done first, the mini order only gets shipped, right? And then as everything else comes in, then you shift over to doing the bundles. Makes sense. Little highlights on those little fingers. But yeah, once the DDRPG really gets into fulfillment, then we probably get to hear more about the planning for MSP 2.0. It does make me a little sad that I launched a bunch of stuff about MSP 2.0 before, when it's probably going to be a couple more months, but that's all right. At least the information's out there if people want to look for it. Alrighty, skin tones, guys. Skin tones. Yay. What color hair? I think we were talking brunette or blonde. What do you guys want to do, blonde or brunette? Do we have a preference? Brunette and blue. No blue hair today. Looks like brunette. Brunette is the overwhelming goal. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that if the Kickstarter goes, I mean, you're still going to have a delay, guys. Like, even if the MSP Kickstarter launched a week from now, the paint wouldn't ship right away. Because, I mean, I just told you we're still adjusting formulas. I already chose the clothing to be more traditional, war shadow. So traditional is a white top with a black bodice with red. And then actually normally she would have skirts on, and the skirts can be any sorts of colors, a lot of different bright colors like red or blue or whatever. So we could go blue on the pants, but I've already chosen the stuff. There isn't supposed to be Twisted Oma. I found a lot more brunettes when I was looking for pictures. All right, I'm going to go and make a cool brown. Let's see here. What do I want? Yeah, I already looked up a lot of pictures of beer frows. I wanted to do the more traditional look, so... So I think I want to demonstrate. I actually talked about this in the PDF that I put out yesterday about how you can make some really beautiful browns with volcanic orange. So let's see if I can make a beautiful brown. So I'm going to put some volcanic orange down. Then we're going to grab our black and brown. I don't see any flowers on this. Yeah, she doesn't have any flowers. No flowers. She's too small to have like sculpted details on her bodice. You mistyped Fraulein and got pecan pralines. That's pretty awesome. Can't really complain. And I assume if you get a vest, a Bierfrau vest, like, and there are flowers on it embroidered, that yes, they would be white for like Edelweiss or whatever, but mountain flower. But I don't know what the tradition is there. Just I was just looking for very rough color guidance because she's so small that I don't have a lot of room to do a lot of detail. So I'm going to pop my black and brown in there. No, I maybe was speaking too fast and colors came out sounding like flowers. It has happened. All right, so getting that color and then mixing in these, you can get some beautiful warm browns. Absolutely gorgeous brown. And just to get a little bit closer, it's a really nice dark. I need a base so you can see it, obviously. I need to like really cover up a lot of the white here. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see it. It's a really pretty chocolate color. So, dark chocolate color. So let's go with that. Oranges are just like, browns are just muted oranges. So what I did there is I took an orange and I muted it by adding a dark brown. And I got a brown, a really nice brown. I'm going to start pretty dark here. I'll put a little bit of water in there. Bob Ross called ochre some weird stuff. Did he really call like orange ochre? I haven't watched in a while. I watched some Bob Ross when I was a kid. You can also see that this is a very high coverage brown. It's going over the white primer really well. Which is because volcanic orange and black and brown both have good coverage themselves. Oh no, I need to go down to a smaller brush again. Ooh, I should look and see if I'm skipping CrossFit tonight, guys. And Allie and Andrew are gone to Africa, my coaches. Yeah, not doing that. Actually, I could maybe do this. I can't do the jump ropes, though. I'll have to do biking or something. But I can do everything else. So yeah, maybe I'll go to CrossFit tonight. The only thing I need to mod is the aerobic activity. Anything orangey called ochre. Interesting. I wonder if he was mixing it with ochre. Or if he was just, you know, really stoned. Personally, since I shy away from using ochre, i.e. oxide, I would never do that. I would never call it ochre. But I guess if he liked ochres, then he can. Bob Ross can do whatever he likes. So starting with a really dark brown, and we'll work it up. I ran for 10 minutes last night, and then I stopped because I didn't want things to get irritated. So I'm getting more hopeful that I can actually run my 10K on the 2nd. As long as I keep doing my physical therapy every freaking night. Alright, the hair goes all the way down. I'm trying to decide what is hair and what is... I think all of this is hair. What's hair and what's shirt, but I think all of this is hair, just looking at it. There we go. All right, so we can see a bit of shirt there. The shirt's going to be white. We'll probably go with a warm white because the rest of the colors here are really warm as well. Bob painted it from his easel upstairs. That's funny. That's cool. I don't see epic skies here very often because we have so many trees. I definitely saw a lot more epic skies in Texas. I should say we have a lot more big trees because we have a lot of redwoods in this town. And big pines. And pretty much everything else. But it means that I don't get to see like just the sky, right? There's always a tree in the way. Not that I'm complaining. All right, so we want to bring this up warm. I probably want to use chestnut gold or something similar. I do miss the epic skies sometimes. I really like looking at atmospheric effects. So, I do miss them somewhat. Nothing against trees. I love those too. But I'm going to get my brown liner actually and darken some of the between the strands here before I start highlighting. Darken some of, make sure I've got my lining in there around the face. Now, I want to kind of, I want to mix these colors, so I want them to work together. Now this we can actually call ochre because it has a ton of yellow oxide in it. Let me see what I can do here. I want to look. There's a couple spots here I missed if I look up from the bottom. Let's see here. How does this look? I want to kind of put it up just as if it's, I'm just going to paint the hair like cloth. I'm not going to bother with any strands. I want to see what the highlights look like. And there's going to be a lot of highlight on the crown of the head. Cool, Rico. That sounds neat. So just kind of picking out areas that I think might end up being a little highlighted. I want to let this color dry so I really have an idea how it's either working or not working with the brown. We went a bit yellow with it, but that's okay. Yeah, okay, so once it dries, it actually blends in pretty well. There are people hiding with cameras just waiting for a tiny break in the rain, Coral. They don't have real jobs. Their job is to like make Scotland photogenic so people come to visit it and spend money. They're lying in wait every day for that one moment that the clouds break. This will look more interesting once we get highlights in, like the really high highlights in, but for now, and in truth, I also have a brunette recipe which starts out more reddish brown and goes up to this color, but I wanted to try to just do this one. Lie to the tourists. And they'll just assume they got unlucky when they come and it rains all day. You know, like then you've got the tourist industry people going, oh, you must have just gotten unlucky. I don't know, when we were in Scotland it rained, but it also, we had sun and rain. We were there in April, I think, when I went with my family a long time ago. I'm sure weather patterns have shifted a bit since then. Alrighty, now we don't have a lot of time. I think I want to glaze and then highlight. So I'm going to grab this brown, my base brown, and make it into a glaze. I want to blend in some of this color. I'm going to glaze really quick. Just to blend in that golden brown a little bit more. And I'm going to come back and wick off my excess stuff. I'm going to grab a fresh brush for that actually. Yeah, oh no. A little bit of lint got on there. Pull off the excess paint. Then that looks really nice. I'm going to mix some white. You should have been here yesterday. Exactly, exactly. Unlucky. Yeah, I like rain also, so it would be a major reason for me to go to Scotland. If it didn't rain, I would be sad. Where is my mixing brush? Here it is. Just want to try to get a couple of highlights in here. Let's zoom back up for a second. So grab a little bit of this over here, drop a little white in there. We'll make this caramel color. There's the glaze. Kind of mix these two together more and get something in the middle there. There we go. But yeah, one of my favorite pictures from Edinburgh was after it rained, and I was up on a hill opposite the castle and the street, the high street that goes up to the castle, and the sun was coming out so that it like hit the street and turned it all gold, like going up to the castle. That was my favorite. Gosh only knows where that picture went at this point. I've lost so many computers and hard drives, but that was one of my faves. Yeah, still pretty dry here. It was supposed to maybe rain this week, but I think it's lied. It's just decided no. Oh no, we still have, yeah, over the weekend we've got a little bit of a chance of rain, but not much. We need you to send some over here, Kuro. We need it. I need the rain. I'm gonna test my my highlight here, and then I'm going to test my little my brighter highlight also. Alright, so let's go back up here. I don't remember what hill we were on. It was a very long time ago. But yeah, maybe. We were up on some sort of monument or thing. We'd walked all the way over there from downtown. And we turned around when the sun came out, and it was just gorgeous. It was just really beautiful. So now with my highlight color, I am going to start picking out strands, although because we are on a smaller 28, it's going to be more picking out the locks of hair that are sculpted. Like you see there. I know the mail is like really delayed now, Kuro, so I'm going to assume it's not going to hit us till December. And I'm going to take my darker color and bring it back in when I need to break up some of this. Like this blob right here. It's almost time, Keekers. I hear her moving around back there. Maybe you can slingshot it over, yeah. Good, yeah. Throw some at us. I shouldn't be greedy. We already had like a full day of rain, and it's like only October, and that's much earlier than usual for us. But I want more water. I want more rain. Now that my roof is fixed, so it's not leaking in here anymore. A little bit there. So I'm starting to bring out those. Cool, crows. I'm glad you like it. It's a little bit titchy. Like I said, I often start my brunettes with more of a reddish color and go up to the gold. But I decided to just go straight for the golden color this time, and it's working. It's not bad. Hi there, Kiki. Hi. What's up, Keekers? What's up, Keekers? Yeah, are you here? You're like, Mama, is it time yet? Is it time for my walk? Is it time? No, not quite yet, little floof. Not quite yet, floofy girl. Almost, though. Mama just has to put in a little more work. She got on a little late today. Yeah, it was my fault, Bubs. I had to set up the chicken. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had chicken. Kiki's like, I'm in favor of anything that equals having chicken. Chicken is her favorite. She's like, all you had to say was chicken, Mom. Yeah, that's why I never dyed my hair. I always liked my hair color. I was tempted by purple hair and everything, but I just liked my hair too much, and I knew also, like, I knew too many people who colored their hair, and then the hair just, like, really was crap. Like, it just fried the heck out of it. Because, of course, this was back in the 80s and 90s when there were a lot of really harsh chemicals being used. And I didn't want to wreck my hair because I liked it. So I was like, nope, I'm just going to keep my color. And now I like the way it's going silver in streaks. So I'm even more so not going to color it. Yeah, exactly, Iffy. Yep. So yeah, so there's that hair color coming out. So it looks, yeah, it's a really rich brown. And I'll still have to put some higher highlights up on it too. Yeah, the Geekster's pretty patient these days about the stream. As long as it's still work time, she's like, okay, I'll hang out. So a little bit, bringing the highlights up further toward the top of the head. Yeah, I think a lot of times when it goes gray, it can get more, you lose some of that strength. My hair is really fine as it is, so I just don't want to make it even angrier at me. My niece, she got the lucky hair. She got the really robust, thick hair. All right, I think that's pretty good. We can continue